everyone, my name is Chelsea and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are talking about my book spending in 2023. That I don't think I've ever made on this channel, but I've definitely thought about it. And I decided in 2023 I was going to be keeping a spreadsheet along with my normal like book ratings and stats and all of that kind of thing about the books that I was buying, the books that I was hauling, and we're gonna go through and see how well I did with how much money I spent, with how many books I actually read from my hauls, that kind of thing. So what we're first gonna do is bring up the spreadsheet over here. I will put it obviously on screen so you guys can see. This is an extra page from the sort of Cawpile spreadsheet. I don't use Cawpile, but I use a lot of the stuff that G from Book Rose put on there to track my stats. But this part of the spreadsheet I believe was stolen from Allie from Hardback Hoarder. None of this is like exclusively me, except for I've put a little bit more into it, like for another like graph for this. There was not a graph that came with this, but you will see I did put one in here because I wanted one. But this is how I track what books I got. I do have the month that I got them in, what the title was, what the author is. The series, I sort of died off with that near the end, you'll see. If it was physical or ebook, those are the only types of books that I have purchased because I don't purchase audiobooks. I've been getting into those slowly, but I usually just get them from the library, and then where I got it, how much I spent on it, and then if I've read it. So we will go through all that kind of stuff. But as you can see here, as we scroll down, I have quite a few books that I bought in 2023. Now, before we get all the way to the bottom, do you have a guess of how many books that I bought? Because I will say I made my husband and my parents guess how many books I bought and also how much money I spent in 2023, and everybody was so wrong. So wrong. But as you can see here, we're still around August or September in the 130 range. Let's keep going. We'll show you what exactly I got in 2023. So this is where I track everything, and my total for 2023 is actually this number right down here at 265. So I purchased or received 265 books in 2023. Now, this is not ARCs. When I say received, I mean gifts from you all, because I do have people that send me Christmas presents and birthday presents sometimes, so thank you so much for those. I do track them in here as things that I'm hauling in, yeah, 265. Did anybody get close to that? Now, not only that, let's now talk about money. I spent money on these books for most of the books, obviously. Do you have a guess on those 265 books? What did I spend? How much money did I spend? This, we're gonna get to it. This might not sound great, but I was actually so happy with the amount of money I spent on books because I spent less than $2,000. I spent $1,963.34. I will say some of the tax and stuff for that is not in here. It is probably a little bit closer to $2,000, but it should still be under $2,000. I spent under $2,000. That is quite a bit. I know it's quite a bit, but I spend money on books. More than clothes, more than anything else besides maybe food and stuff for my kids. I spend money on books, like, and I know I do. It could be worse. Don't we all say that with books? It could definitely be worse. It could be drugs. It could be worse. I will say, if you average out the amount of money I spent versus the amount of books I received in, the book average is about $7.40. That's not bad. We're under $7.50 a book. And some of these books are like Illumicrate special editions that had to be shipped in from the UK and stuff like that. So ultimately, I'm happy with the amount I spent on these books. I'm okay with that. Now, the real question and thing about this video is, what did I actually read? Let's get into that before we get into like where I got them, just because I'm sure you guys can see it here when we talked about how much money I spent and how many I totally bought. There is a percentage here. I read 21% of the books that I hauled in 2023. This is less than I would ultimately like it to be. Again, I did not do a full tracker in 2022, but I want to say going back through, I was closer to 50% of the books that I read than I was in 2023. I don't know exactly why. Actually, I am sure I know why. I picked up a lot more Stuff Your Kindle books in 2023, and I did not read a whole bunch of those. I do think that's partly the reason, but 21%, or that does translate to 55 books out of these 265, because I counted just in case. Ultimately, 55 books, if you take that out, that means I did still haul 210, and my reading was only like 151 last year, so like I definitely made my TBR higher than at the beginning of 2023. Like, I didn't make my TBR go down at all, which is a goal, but at the same time, I know I have such a hard time doing that. So like, I'm trying to be good about it. But yeah, 21%, not bad, but something that I would like to work on. I will also say there's been a couple other books that I did buy in 2023 that I have since read in 2024, but we're not talking about those because I didn't go back and add those. I wanted to see how many I bought in 2023 and read in 2023. Now we're just gonna go down to like the last thing that I have here. I have the format of book totals, format bought totals. That's what it is. That's what it says. So basically, like I said before, I don't purchase audiobooks, so I do have a 0 purchased bought audiobooks. But ebooks, I have 124, which is quite a few, and physical is 141. I don't know the breakdown of like things that I bought and already read on ebook versus things that I bought and already read on physical. I do think I read more physical books that I purchased versus ebooks, but it's pretty comparable. And then if we go down, this is the chart that I added on. This is something that I wanted to know, and my highest number of books was Stuff Your Kindle. I did download 92 Stuff Your Kindle books, or the equivalent of Stuff Your Kindle, because I know I did download some Terrify Your Tablet ebooks that were for like the Halloween season. I just put them all under Stuff Your Kindle because basically those were all ebooks that were free that I purchased during those events where people are trying to get a first book in a series out or a different series to people to read and then hopefully want to read more from that author. And I am still very curious and excited to read these ones, but I didn't feel much guilt about getting them because of the fact that they were free. But I got almost 100 Stuff Your Kindle books. The next biggest was from Barnes & Noble. I do have a Barnes & Noble membership, and I do have the one that you pay for. Barnes & Noble within the last year, maybe a little bit over a year now, started 2 separate memberships. It used to just be 1, and now it's 2, where you can have a free membership where you get some benefit in store. I don't think there's any benefit online anymore. And it's small compared to the like exclusive membership where you do pay for it every year. I think it's like $40 now USD, versus $25 is what it used to be back when I worked at Barnes & Noble and there was only 1 membership card. But you get like a free tote bag. If you go to the cafe, your drink gets upgraded automatically for free. You get 10% off in the store, and that includes like on top of other sale things, and it also works online, so you get like the free shipping online and you get another 10% off of whatever the sale price is there as well. You get more points, so like now we have the free membership and the exclusive membership, and you do get like points for every like $10 you spent or whatever it is in Barnes & Noble. I don't actually know, this is not sponsored, this is just I get benefit from Barnes & Noble, okay? But there have been times, and I have definitely used them, where you get like double points or triple points, and like you get more points, more cash gift card money back to use in Barnes & Noble for the exclusive membership. So I have been using that. I have gone on sale days. I have pre-ordered because they every so often have like a 25% off pre-orders, that kind of thing. So I did end up getting 54 Barnes & Noble books, or 54 books from Barnes & Noble. Then we also did have 19 books from Amazon. This number would have been much, much higher if I included the Stuff Your Kindle stuff because I got everything from Amazon, but I got 19 books specifically from Amazon that I purchased. I think most of these are still ebooks where it was still a discount or I had like a credit for buying something else, but I had 19 Amazon books, 16 books from Illumicrate, and this does include any Illumicrate special editions because I did not get every single box that Illumicrate had in 2023, but I still ended up with 16 books. I had 14 books from Rainbow Crate. Rainbow Crate does have 2 books per book box, and I don't think I had like any special editions from Rainbow Crate, so that means I got 7 Rainbow Crate boxes in the year of 2023. I had 12 books that were gifted to me from you all, so thank you so much for those. And then I got 11 books from Bookman's. That is a used bookstore here in Arizona. I do go and sell some of my unhaul books there if I can't get rid of them other places, and I get credit there. So everything that I have gotten from Bookman's for the last few years has been store credit, so I don't spend anything out of pocket for those. And then I do have 11 Kickstarter books. One of these was an actual book, but a lot of the times this ends up being comics or graphic novels that I fund that way. And these are the ones that came in 2023. I'm sure some of these were paid for in 2022 and didn't come in until 2023, and I'm sure I paid for some in 2023 that won't come in until this year in 2024, just because of how Kickstarter works, but 11 of them came in this year. 10 were books that I got for Fayro Feb. This was specifically during the Fayro Feb Advent calendar in December. They had 24 different authors, 24 different books, novellas, or short stories, and I downloaded 10 of those. So I have those as well. I did put that separately from the Stuff Your Kindle stuff. Then I got 8 books from Costco because they do have books there. It's not a huge selection, but I do find myself going there and looking quite often. I will say I probably bought more than 8 kids books at Costco because they do have a great kids selection at my Costco, and Presley and Elliot love books. But I personally got 8 books from Costco. I got 6 books from Walmart. Again, I don't go there very often. This was back when Presley was just starting preschool and there was a Walmart very close by. So when I was leaving him for only like an hour at a time and then having to come back and get him early, I would go there, and I did find some of like the Harlequin special editions and things like that. So I do have 6 books from Walmart. I have 4 books from Afterlight. This does include the Afterlight book box and any Afterlight special editions. I didn't get very many last year in 2023, but also that was still when they were every other month. And now in 2024, it's every month. And I'm still skipping all the book boxes that I don't think I'm going to read. I'm trying to be very particular with the book box books that I actually get. Only things that have the tropes that I like or sound very intriguing to me am I getting. So like, for example, this year in 2024, I did end up getting a couple different book boxes in January, but I skipped February for all of my book boxes, I think, and I'm skipping at least 2 in March as well. So I'm still being very careful with those. So I only received 4 Afterlight books. I did pick up 3 books from Target. Again, I don't go in there and just shop very often for books because of the fact that like I have a Barnes & Noble membership that gets me a lot of stuff, but this was during one of those times where they had like a sale. I know 2 of them were things that I bought for me that was like during a sale, and then one was during like almost Christmas, and again it was like a buy 2 get 1 free or something, and I already got the kids something. I had to get me something to round that out, you know what I mean. I did also pick up 2 books from the Dollar Tree. So the Dollar Tree here is now $1.25 instead of like a full dollar store, but I ended up getting 2 hardcover books that were in beautiful condition for the price of $1.25 each. So like, I could not pass those up. And then we got 1 book from Etsy. This was an author's Etsy where she does like signed copies of books. and I did purchase that because it's a series that I am reading. I've already read that one actually, and the newest book in that series is supposed to come out like next month, and I think I missed the signed copy thing, so I'm gonna have to like keep my eye out for that because I have all 3 books so far in the Trials of Sorcerer series by Elise Kova, just so you guys know, in hardcover, signed. This is an indie author, indie series. Book 4 is coming out in March, I think it is, and I don't have the signed copy coming to me yet, but I'm gonna get this. 1 copy from Changing Hands. This is another bookstore in Arizona that I think does some secondhand books, but I've pretty much only shopped with them for new books because of the fact that like they do have book signings. So I did go to a book signing and I got that through them. And then finally, it took me a little while to find this because I could not figure out if I had gotten everything, but I did have 1 book from Evernight. I subscribed to the very last Evernight in 2023, where we got the Caitlin Starling book. I'm very excited to read that one, and so yes, this is another part of the book box subscription where I'm just making sure that I really, really want these books, although I think this one is still quarterly, so it's only going to come around like 4 times a year. But I did get 1 Evernight book as well in 2023. So I think, again, I got all of them. Like, I'm just double checking. I do think that is everything from the list. So, yeah, I know that was a lot. Most of this was like a sort of like, where did I get them and why did I get them? But I'm not surprised at my numbers of like where I got things, because I was trying to be very careful with like where I was buying things and like very intentional with what I was wanting to read. Obviously, I did have some pre-orders through like Barnes and Noble, and I did go and like shop during some of those like sale days, and I have manga and stuff. Like that's pretty much where I get a lot of my manga. So the number there can go up very quickly. But like I said also before, the fact that I was able to spend under $2,000, and I feel like, I told you, I asked my husband and my parents, based on like how many books that I bought, how much money do you think I spent? And even after I told them I bought 265 books, they were still in the under $1,000 range. Like, you guys should know here on this channel, people that buy books, or at least watch people buy books, I don't know how that number would have worked out if they think I bought 285 books and I only spent like $800. Yeah, that's like $3 a book. Very much different, especially if I'm buying special editions. So that's everything. I am doing this again this year. I will say I have purchased more books so far in January and February than I did January and February last year. And because of that, my percentage read number is only at 15% right now. We still have a ways to go. I am planning on reading a lot more of the things that I have purchased this year, but we have not caught up in that way yet. So yeah, that's gonna be it for me today. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up to let me know. Subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more videos. I do have videos coming out Tuesdays, Thursdays, and sometimes Saturdays, so I will see you then. Bye!